Helmet dash for the modifieds on the Speedway, the Van Meter Auto Repair Modified Helmet Dash. The top 4 qualifiers. The number 49 is Bob Page from Murricksville, Ohio. The 02 is Rick Sibla from Massillon. The 331 is last year's champion Mike Stone. And the 66, your fastest qualifier tonight, Lewis McGrath from Strasburg. 4 laps they'll go. 4 laps for the 4 fastest qualifiers in qualifying earlier tonight. 4-lap helmet dash, getting ready to go green. Bob Page, Rick Sibla. Green flag is in the air. Side by side off turn number 2. Bob Page with the advantage on the bottom. Sibla still hanging out there about a half a car length behind. Off turn number 4, Bob Page going to have the advantage. He'll lead lap number 1. Sibla still in the outside lane. Here comes Mike Stone. Stone going to try and get to the inside of Sibla for second. Page, your race leader. 2 laps in, 2 to go. Stone going to take over that second spot from Sibla. White flag for the helmet dash for the Van Meter Auto Repair Modifieds. Bob Page into turn number 1. The 02 of Sibla pulls pit side. And off of turn number 4, your helmet dash winner, Bob Page. Mike Stone finishes second, Lewis McGrath third and fourth. The 02 of Rick Sibla. Pulling to the line from Murricksville, Ohio, in the Heron Heating and Cooling sponsored number 49, your helmet dash winner for the Van Meter Auto Repair Modifieds, Bob Page. Starting on the pole, the 67 is Kyle Rector. The number 22 is Kylie Wood. The number 75 is Bob Passwater Sr. And your fastest qualifier, big money winner over the last couple weeks, the 88 of Dennis Wood. 4-lap helmet dash for the top 4 qualifiers in the Snap-on Tools by Doug Pool Street Stocks. Field to get the one to go signal this time. Helmet dash getting ready to go green. Rector and Wood. Kyle Rector, your race leader. Kylie Wood drops into that second spot. Dennis Wood way up the racetrack as he's on the outside of Passwater Sr. Kylie Wood all over the back of that 67 of Rector. Dennis Wood trying to look to the outside of Passwater Sr. Halfway home, 2 in, 2 to go. White flag for Kyle Rector. Checkered flag for Kyle Rector. Rector will win the helmet dash for the Street Stocks. Kylie Wood second, Bob Passwater Sr. in third, Dennis Wood in fourth. Pulling to the line from Murricksville, Ohio in the Shaw Wadding and Repair, Heron Heating and Cooling, Smoker's Paradise, NY Tavern sponsored Grocery Getter number 67. Put your hands together for Kyle Rector. Mini truck division for their helmet dash. Starting on the pole, Tia Henry from Midvale, Ohio in the number 21. On the outside, the 000 is Blake Ripley. Starting in row number 2, the 99 is Bob Johnson. And your fastest qualifier, the 443 of Eddie McLean from Carrollton, Ohio. Field will get the one to go signal this time. Helmet dash for the Ross Mountain Barbecue mini trucks. Four-lap helmet dash for the Ross Mountain Barbecue mini trucks. Tia Henry, Blake Ripley on the front row, Bob Johnson, Eddie McLean in row number 2. Getting ready to go green flag. Oh, Tia Henry up the racetrack, going to get into Johnson. Pushes Johnson down into the infield. And he's going to come back up on the racetrack and keep going. Tia Henry, obvious problems in that 21. Blake Ripley, your race leader. Halfway home. 2 in, 2 to go for Blake Ripley. Eddie McLean on the outside. McLean looking for that race lead. Coming to the white flag. Blake Ripley continues to lead. Johnson now going to look for third on Tia Henry. White flag for Blake Ripley. Turn 3 and 4. Blake Ripley going to pick up the helmet dash for the mini trucks. Eddie McLean second. Bob Johnson third. Tia Henry in fourth. Helmet dash winner for the Ross Mountain Barbecue mini trucks. From Summerdale, Ohio, put your hands together for the 000, Blake Ripley. Bucky Mowing Compacts helmet dash, 4-lap helmet dash for the trophy, or for the compacts rather. The 64 is Jamie Leslie. He'll start on the pole. The 52 is Jeremy Salinger. The 4 is Blaine Salisbury. And your fastest qualifier in the number 53 is Curtis Finlayson. Field will get the green flag this time around. 4-lap helmet dash for the Bucky Mowing Compacts. Leslie and Salinger, green flag in the air. Jamie Leslie with the race lead. Salisbury going to move up into the second spot. Jamie Leslie, here comes Finlayson, 3 wide into turn 3. Finlayson backs out of it. Salisbury hangs on to that second spot. Now Salinger way up the racetrack. Jamie Leslie halfway home, 2 in, 2 to go. Salisbury all over the back of that 64. White flag for Jamie Leslie. Here comes Curtis Finlayson on the outside of Salisbury. Final time. Oh, Salisbury spins, gets into the 53 of Finlayson. Jamie Leslie going to win. Finlayson second. Salisbury in third. Salinger in third. And Blaine Salisbury in fourth. Pulling to the line, helmet dash winner for the Bucky Mowing Compacts. From New Philadelphia, Ohio, and the Chronizer Small Engine Repair and Service, Patty Bandela Dental, Medley Mowing, Leslie's Welding and Fab, Joe's Sideshow Garage, Scheffler Tuning, and Canton Auto Salvage, sponsored number 64. Put your hands together for Jamie Leslie. Trophy stock helmet dash. Getting ready to go green. The 42 is Damian Andrews on the pole. On the outside, the 62 is Caden Scott. Tyler Scott in the 62, and your fastest qualifier in the number 37, Jacob Keller. New track record holder Jacob Keller in that 37X machine, running the medium small oval tonight. Damian Andrews with the race lead into the turn. Now the brothers Scott bang into turn number 3 and 4. Tyler Scott going to move up to that second spot. Caden Scott back to third. Andrews, your race leader. 2 laps to go for Damian Andrews. Jacob Keller still in that 4th spot. Unable to move up so far. Damian Andrews hanging on to that race lead. Now a little tap from Tyler Scott. White flag in the air. .62 of Tyler Scott. I think he thought the race was over. Almost pulled off the racetrack. He's going to finish 4th now. Picking up the dash win is the 42 of Damian Andrews. The 62 of Caden Scott finishes 2nd. The 37 of Jacob Keller finishes 3rd. And Tyler Scott gives up 2nd position because he thought the race was over. He'll finish 4th. So pulling to the line, your final helmet dash winner in the Canton Addiction Trophy stocks. In the D&N Lawn Care, sponsored number 42 from Alliance, Ohio, your winner, Damian Andrews. Repair Modifieds. Starting on the pole, the number 4 is Jerry DeVore. The number 50 is Will Walker. Row number 2, the 57 is Braden Swaney. The 09 is Philip Cox. The 55 is the Rooster, Brandon Bailey. The 38 is Kevin McClintock. And the 24 is Nick Grubbs. Nick Grubbs, your 5th fastest qualifier, just missed getting into that helmet dash. 8-lap heat race number 1 for the Van Meter Auto Repair Modifieds. DeVore, Walker, green flag in the air. Will Walker to the race lead. The 4 of Jerry DeVore back to 2nd. Battle for 3rd. Philip Cox sideways off of turn number 4. Braden Swaney has that 3rd spot. Cox going to try to get to the bottom, but the Rooster is there. Jerry DeVore all over the back of that number 50 of Will Walker. Will Walker continuing to hang on to that race lead. Braden Swaney shuffled back. Final time down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Will Walker, Jerry DeVore. Will Walker going to win heat race number 1. DeVore second. Philip Cox in third. Brandon Bailey fourth. Kevin McClintock rounding out your top 5. Pulling to the line, heat race number 1 winner in the Trenton Service Trip Walker Racing sponsored number 50 from Uricksville, Ohio, Slick Willie Walker. So heat race number 2, starting on the pole, the 007 of Don Rufner III. Andrew Smart, the youngster on the outside. Kenny Feaster Jr., Glenn Jewell, Brandon France, Austin Berger, and Mike Bowers. Green flag in the air. Andrew Smart on the outside. DR3 on the bottom. Side by side through 3 and 4. Andrew Smart hanging on to that outside lane, just the youngster out there. Kenny Feaster Jr. trying to move up to the inside of the 17. Feaster will move up alongside Rufner, your race leader. Smart trying to get around that 13 of Feaster, doing a nice job in that outside lane. Andrew Smart slipping back to that 4 spot. Bowers to his inside now. Smart still working that high lane. Don Rufner III, your race leader. Kenny Feaster Jr. looking to the outside. Here comes Brandon France. France to the inside of Feaster Jr. Here comes Brandon France up to that 2nd spot. Bowers looking for 3rd. He's inside of Feaster. France going to now look to the outside of DR3 for the top spot. Coming the 1 to go. Brandon France with a big move in the outside lane. White flag in the air for Rufner. Brandon France around DR3 via the outside lane. He'll give Rufner Racing room. Brandon France going to be your heat race number 2 winner. DR3 finishes in the 2nd spot. Good run for Mike Bowers in 3rd. Glenn Jewell 4th. Kenny Feaster Jr. in 5th. Pulling to the line, heat race number 2 winner. In the France Trucking, Ram Concrete, Peebles Racing, BP Photography, Ennis Hauling, and R.A. Mosier sponsored number 28 from Dover, Ohio. Put your hands together for Brandon France. Again, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Heat race for the Van Meter Auto Repair Modifieds. Starting on the pole, the 99 is Derek Gruhl. Starting alongside the 87 of Zach Leisure. The 75 is Bobby DeVore. The 2nd, the 69 is Bob Snyder Jr. The number 96, first time out in this ride this season, is Don Boron Sr. The number 15, feature winner this season, Kyle Finlayson in the 15, and Vanessa McCreary in the 71. 8-lap heat race number 3 for the Van Meter Auto Repair Modifieds. Getting ready to go green, Derek Gruhl, Zach Leisure. On the front row, Bobby DeVore, Bob Snyder Jr. in row number 2. Green flag in the air. Derek Gruhl going to have the race lead into turn number 3. Zach Leisure going to fight back on the outside. Zach Leisure still fighting in the outside lane. Derek Gruhl continues to lead. Leisure gets to the bottom, but here comes Kyle Finlayson on the outside lane. Kyle Finlayson working himself up to the outside of Zach Leisure for second. Derek Gruhl continues to lead. Kyle Finlayson now second in the 15. White flag for Derek Gruhl. Finlayson going to go to the outside of Derek Gruhl for the race lead. Final time into turn number 3. Dead heat. Derek Gruhl on the bottom. Finlayson on top. Checkered flag. So your winner by .003, Kyle Finlayson. From Sandyville, Ohio, in the Finlayson Towing, Finlayson Trucking, sponsored number 15, Kyle Finlayson, your final heat race winner. Great job by Derek Gruhl. First night out in the 99 this year. Led start to almost finish by .003. Tools by Doug Poole. Street Stocks will start giving away bicycles after this heat race. I'll send it down to Medley Mowing after this heat race. Starting on the pole, the 55 is Kyler Bertram. Alongside the number 8 is Pork Chop, Brandon Thomas. Row number 2, the number 10 of Katie Wood. Starting on the outside of row number 2, the 64 of Ian Porco. The number 44 is Brandon Donnelly. The 58 is the Red Rocket, Zach Koger. And the number 3 is Kyle Grove. 8-lap heat race number 1 for the Street Stocks is green. Pork Chop way up the racetrack. The 55 of Bertram going to have the race lead. Here comes Ian Porco for second. Porco picked up a feature victory. That is the grandson of Tom Garbrandt. Picked up the feature win a couple of weeks ago. Bertram, your race leader. Porco second. Pork Chop in third. The Red Rocket is fourth. Then Katie Wood, Kyle Grove, and Brandon Donnelly. Zach Koger to the outside of Brandon Thomas for the third spot. He'll take that position over. Porco trying to run down the 55 of Bertram. Tyler Bertram continues to lead. Ian Porco closing in. Zach Koger, a couple feature victories in the 58 this year. Trying to catch the top 2. Kyle Grove to the inside of Brandon Thomas for the 4th spot. White flag in the air for Bertram. Checkered flag for Kyler Bertram. Ian Porco will finish second. Zach Koger third. Kyle Grove fourth. Brandon Thomas fifth. We'll get on to medley mowing now to give away some bicycles.
All right, we are going to give away the toddler bikes. We have 5 toddler bikes. The first number is 431582. That's 431582. The next one for the toddler bikes is 431541. And then 431571.
Tools by Doug Pool Street Stocks. Bryant Smith in the 1. He'll start on the pole. The 74, Bob Passwaters Jr. will start alongside. Then the 54, the Mineral City Marauder, Chase Berkey. The 99 is Jason Gruhl. The 38, first night out for Ron Rug. And on the outside, Scott Lindell, his second night out for the number 19. Getting ready to go green. 8-lap heat race number 2. Bryant Smith, your race leader. Bob Passwaters Jr. in second. Chase Berkey in third. Scott Lindell up to fourth. Halfway home, 4 in, 4 to go. For Bryant Smith. That kind of call. Bryant Smith coming to the white flag. Bob Passwaters Jr., Chase Berkey, your top 3. Checkered flag for Bryant Smith. Bob Passwaters Jr., Chase Berkey, Scott Lindell, and Ron Rug, your top 5. Your winner of heat race number 2 in the Canton Auto Salvage Finish Line Motor Smith's Auto Sales sponsor number 1. Put your hands together for Bryant Smith. Back down to medley mowing to quickly read off some more tickets.
The ones we have left are number 431625, 431571, 431582.
Junior from Denison, Ohio. The 57 is Rick Brink from Hartville. The 31 is Chris Takis from Dover, Ohio. And rounding out your mini truck field, the 442 of Connor McLean. Hoopengarner Jr., Rick Brink, Chris Takis, and Connor McLean getting ready to go green. 8-lap heat race for the Ross Mountain Barbecue mini trucks. Chief starter Terry Coletti, green flag in hand, and we are underway. Rick Brink getting a bump draft from Connor McLean, and here comes Takis. Takis to the bottom of the racetrack, going to take over the race lead. Connor McLean up to second. Rick Brink back to third. Hoopengarner fourth. Lap number 1 to Takis. Here comes Connor McLean looking to the inside of Takis. Takis going to close the door, but spin in turn number 2. Connor McLean into the back of the 31 of Chris Takis. Caution on the speedway. Happy 41st anniversary, Craig and Crystal. I don't know how you've been able to put up with Hall of Famer Craig Mishler that long, but hey, that's okay. Medley Mowing, if you want to read off a couple more tickets while we're under caution, go for it.
All right, we're going to do some boys. Tickets. 431.
Rick Brink back to the second position. Connor McLean back to third. Hoopy fourth.
431.
Takis, your race leader with 2 to go. White flag for Takis. Connor McLean back up to that second spot. Off turn number 4. First checkered flag for Chris Takis. Connor McLean finishes second. Rick Brink third. And Ron Hoopengarner Jr. will finish fourth. Mini Trucks, his first career checkered flag in his first season. I think this is only his second night in the truck. From Dover, Ohio, on the Sugar Valley Meats, Canal Street Diner, Industrial Engine and Machine Shop, Buckeye Tire, Poor White Trash Man Fabricating, Cousins Garage, Pringles Body Shop, Pork Chop Vinyl Graphics, and Pringles Lawn Care, sponsored number 31. Your winner, Chris Takis. Medley Mowing, take it away. Caldwell. The number 2 is A.J. Andrews. The 07 is Evan Worrell. And the number 17 is Noah Kaufman. Just a reminder, if this is your first time at Midvale Speedway this season, this class is for beginners, basically. You cannot have more than 3 years racing experience to be in this class. Most of them are the 13, 14, 15-year-olds. There are a few 20-plus-year-olds in this division, but it is 3 years or less experience, and then you have to move up into the big compacts. Second year for the trophy stocks here at Midvale Speedway. They run a variety of the tracks here at Midvale. They run the big oval, this medium, small oval. They also run the small oval. As they're getting ready to go green, 8-lap heat race number 1 is green. Nolan Caldwell going to have the race lead on the outside. Corbin Robinson back to the second spot. Evan Worrell, A.J. Andrews will battle for the third spot. Nolan Caldwell sliding through 3 and 4. He'll lead lap number 1 by nose. Nolan Caldwell, Corbin Robinson. Good battle up front for the race lead in the trophy stock heat race. Robinson on the bottom. Caldwell on the outside. Noah Kaufman going to move up to the 4th spot around A.J. Andrews. Corbin Robinson back up front. To turn number 4, Robinson going to lead another lap. Speeding ticket for Corbin Robinson. Speeding ticket for the number 68. Speeding ticket for Corbin Robinson. The number 6 is Nolan Caldwell. He is now your race leader. Corbin Robinson 2 laps under his qualifying time. White flag. Final time through the infield section. Your winner, Nolan Caldwell. Evan Worrell will finish 2nd. Noah Kaufman finishes 3rd. A.J. Andrews 4th.
Just a little bit. Hello.
All right, we're going to reread some. 431 626. 431 653.
3 times 3 is Storm Johnson. The 51 is Jordan Dennison. The number 4 is Jonathan Thompson. Jonathan Thompson bought that car off of Dan Bucky. Dan wanted me to make sure that I told everybody that that car was sold. The 61 is Chris Burdett, and the 12 is Tristan Keller. Dennison hard into the wall in the front straightaway. Hard on the front row, green flag in the air, 1 lap complete. 7 to go. Thompson, your race leader. Tristan Keller in the 12. The 61 is Chris Burdett. The 33 times 3 is Storm Johnson. Johnson way high off of turn number 4. Thompson, your race leader. Burdett in 2nd. Keller 3rd. Oh, contact between Burdett and Thompson. Thompson now turns back down into Burdett. Thompson up the racetrack. Burdett going to have the race lead into the infield section. Burdett, your race leader. Thompson 2nd, almost into the wall. Here comes Keller. Keller to the inside of Thompson, who's cooked that right front tire. Here comes Burdett. White flag for Chris Burdett. Keller in 2nd, Thompson 3rd, Storm Johnson 4th. Final time down the back straightaway into the infield section. And off of turn number 4, your winner from Tuskegee, Ohio, Chris Burdett. Tristan Keller will finish 2nd, Jonathan Thompson in 3rd, and Storm Johnson in 4th. Medley Mowing, it's all yours. Number 61 from Tuskegee, Ohio, your winner, Chris Burdett. Go ahead, Medley Mowing. Back to the bicycles.
All right, I think we're going to recall some numbers because we've got a lot unclaimed.
Compact, starting on the pole, Alan Clark in the 0. Mike Stuber in the 44 alongside. The 00 is John Heidi, the 36 of Rich Dunlap. Don Rufner Jr. and DR3 in the 47 and 007, Blaze Bacon and Phil Bunton Jr. Mike Stuber, your race leader. Alan Clark in second. Dunwoody on the outside trying to take over that second spot. John Heidi in fourth. DR3 in the 007. His dad right behind, Don Rufner Jr. in the 47. The Sizzler, Blaze Bacon in the 57. Mike Stuber, your race leader. Alan Clark still second. Dunwoody still trying to make that outside lane work. Oh, Rufner Jr. to the wall in turn 3. So we'll take a look at the replay, see if there was any contact there that put Rufner Jr. up. Right at the halfway mark. 4 in, 4 to go. Here comes Dunwoody on the bottom. He gets around Alan Clark in the 0. Dunwoody up to second. Stuber continues to lead. Clark back to that third spot. Here comes DR3 on the bottom. Don Rufner the third, trying to take over the third position from Alan Clark. He'll get to the inside. Dunwoody on the outside looking for the race lead on Mike Stuber. White flag in the air. Rich Dunlap using all of the racetrack, trying to get the run in the outside lane to get around Stuber. Mike Stuber using the short way around, and that's going to pay off as Stuber's going to win it. Dunlap finishes second, DR3 in third. Phil Bunton Jr. fourth, Alan Clark rounding out your top 5. Your winner in the number 44 from Bowerston, Ohio, in the My Water Doctor Keys Cars, Romar Performance Motorsports, Mid-Vid Racing Videos, and Bucky Mowing sponsored number 44, Mike Stuber. Back down to Medley Mowing for more tickets.
431 566. 431 579. 431 621. 431 660.
Starting on the pole, the number 7 is Marcus Cox. The 23 is Brenton Irwin. The 5 is Tabby Stuber. The 82 is Ronald Bunton. The 69 is Drew Romig. The 22 is Braden Maurer. Number 23 is Zach Marshall. And out back in the number 9 is Gavin Roop. Marcus Cox, Brenton Irwin. Going to bring the field in for green. 8-lap heat race number 2 for the compacts. And we're green. Caution on the speedway, big scrum in turn number 1. To go, second compact heat race. Bunton up the racetrack, Irwin on the bottom. Brenton Irwin way out in front. Braden Maurer second. Marshall third. Drew Romig and Gavin Roop. The 69 of Romig with a flat left front tire, going to be asking him to pull to the infield. 5 laps complete. Brenton Irwin continues to lead with 2 to go. Braden Maurer closing in on Brenton Irwin, the 2 youngsters. White flag, Maurer trying to close in on Irwin. White flag in the air. Irwin, Maurer, final time into turn number 3. Maurer going to dig in on the outside, not going to have enough to stick it out there. Checkered flag, Brenton Irwin. Braden Maurer will finish second. Zach Marshall third. Gavin Roop in fourth, and Ronald Bunton in fifth. So your winner of heat race number 2 from Uricksville, Ohio, and the Chronizers Equipment and Sales, Lonzer Excavating Racer 8 Performance and Lee's Famous Recipe, sponsored number 23, Brenton Irwin. Down to you, Medley Mowing, for some more bicycle tickets.
All right, 431-553, 431-556, 431-660, 431-639, 431-649.
Mowing Compacts. Jonathan Weber on the pole. Candy Bunton, Brendan Neely, Timmy Long, Scott Wendling, Trevor King, Andrea Leach, and Eric Brokaw. Here comes Timmy on the outside. Timmy Long to the race lead after Candy Bunton and Jonathan Weber had a little bit of contact. Timmy Long going to be your race leader. Timmy Long, your race leader. Jonathan Weber second, Candy Bunton third. Scott Wendling in fourth. Brendan Neely in fifth. Oh, contact between the 80 of Bunton and the 5 of Wendling. Brendan Neely, a nice move in that 68 to avoid that one. '85, Timmy. Nice save in turn number 2. I believe the 85 and the 46 both have flats. The 85 chugging along. And we stay green. Brendan Neely, your race leader. Brendan Neely way out in front in the 68. Candy Bunton up to second in the 80. The 79 of Brokaw, the 7 of King, the 4 of Leach. White flag for Brendan Neely. Off turn number 4, heat race win for Brendan Neely. The 80 of Candy Bunton finishes second. Eric Brokaw finishes third. Trevor King finishes fourth. And Andrea Leach will be fifth once she crosses the line.
Okay, 431, 536, 431, 651, 431, 660, 431.
Works. The 10th fastest qualifier starts on the pole. They all start single file. The fastest qualifier starts at the tail. 10-lap race to see if the 66 of Lewis McGrath can pass his way up to the front. If you are passed, you are eliminated. The drivers were told if they are clearly passed, they are to go to the infield or pull up way up high and off the racetrack. So if you're passed, you're out. Single file Australian pursuit. 10 laps, 10 cars. Willie Walker will start on the pole. Starting second will be the 57 of Braden Swaney. The 09 of Philip Cox in third. The 55 of Brandon Bailey fourth. Kevin McClintock in fifth. Nick Grubb sixth. Bob Page seventh. Rick Sibla eighth. Mike Stone ninth. And Lewis McGrath in 10th. So again, 10 laps until there's one car remaining, or we get to that 10-lap mark. If you're past, you're out. Will Walker will take the green flag. Here comes Brandon Bailey to the inside of Philip Cox. Cox and Bailey. A little bit of contact. Cox definitely trying to close the door on Bailey. So far, everybody's still in. McClintock looking to that outside lane. Nick Grubb's unable to get there. Way up high, Rick Sibla in the 0-2. That's going to allow the 331 of Mike Stone to get to the bottom. Still nobody eliminated. And now Rick Sibla is out. Mike Stone around Rick Sibla. Sibla is out. Rick Sibla, first one eliminated. Everybody else still nose to tail. Rooster going to try the outside of Philip Cox this time. Will Walker still leading Philip Cox sideways, Bailey to the outside. Brandon Bailey on the outside of Philip Cox, trying to eliminate him. Not quite done yet. Swaney still in second. Will Walker still your leader. Philip Cox trying to hang on. Philip Cox is eliminated. Cox is out. 57 of Braden Swaney is out. Those two will pull off the racetrack. .24 Nick Grubbs is out. White flag in the air. Can Will Walker hang on? The Rooster, Brandon Bailey to the outside. He is clear, but not eliminated because it's the last lap. Brandon Bailey will be your winner of the pursuit. Will Walker will finish second. Kevin McClintock third. The 49 of Bob Page in fourth. Mike Stone in fifth. Nice job by everybody. Philip Cox, Braden Swaney, Rick Sibla, and the 24 Nick Grubbs all got out of the way. Easy for the Rooster. Your winner of the Australian Pursuit for the Van Meter Auto Repair Modifieds in the Scio Car Wash, Vaughn's Pub and Grill, Morvitz Auto Detailing sponsored, number 55 from Leesville, Brandon Bailey. On the pole, the 55 is Kyler Bertram. The 8, Pork Chop, Brandon Thomas. The number 10 is Katie Wood. The 64 is Ian Porco. The 44, Brandon Donnelly. The 58 is Zach Koger. The 67 of Kyle Rector. The 22 of Kylie Wood. The 75 of Bob Passwater Sr. And your fastest qualifier, the 88 of Dennis Wood. So the Australian Pursuit getting ready to go green for the or for the Snap-on Tools by Doug Pool Street Stocks. You would think by mid-season I'd have that down by now, but I don't. Kyler Bertram, your race leader. The Pork Chop runs second. Battle between Donnelly and the 58 of Koger. Koger trying to eliminate Donnelly. Brandon Donnelly still hanging on. Zach Koger trying to eliminate the 44, and he does. The 44 is out. Brandon Donnelly is out. No, that's all the Rector's hood goes up. He is out. Kyler Bertram, your race leader. Brandon Thomas second. Katie Wood in third. Ian Porco. And the 58 of Zach Koger. Koger trying to eliminate Porco on the outside. Dennis Wood still in tow. Halfway home. 5 in, 5 to go this time around. Zach Koger trying to hang on to Dennis Wood. Oh, problems for Kyler Bertram. Bertram, your race leader, pulls pit side. White flag coming out. Pork Chop trying to hang on. Katie Wood in second. Ian Porco third. Dennis Wood fourth. Through turns 3 and 4, here comes Ian Porco. Final lap, nobody can be eliminated. Off turn number 4, your winner, Brandon Thomas. Ian Porco finishes second. Katie Wood third. Dennis Wood fourth. And fifth was Zach Koger. Tough break for Kyler Bertram, who had to pull pit side. Who was your leader? So pulling to the line, your winner of the Australian Pursuit in the Snap-on Tools by Doug Pool Street Stocks, in the Gillen Body Shop, EPS Packaging, Valley View Forestry, South Philly Pizza, and Chillaxin and Waxin, sponsored number 8, Pork Chop, Brandon Thomas, Hoop and Garner Jr., Connor McLean, Tia Henry, Blake Ripley, Bob Johnson, and Eddie McLean. 6-lap Australian Pursuit. Ron Hoopengarter Jr. has been eliminated. Hoopy's out. The 21 of Tia Henry has been eliminated. The 442 of Connor McLean has been eliminated. Here comes Bob Johnson on the outside. And Connor McLean just cut off his dad. I'm sure that the family dinner will not be happy. It'll be a little contested tomorrow. Blake Ripley, your race leader. Bob Johnson trying to race him down. Eddie McLean got a ways to go. White flag for Blake Ripley, trying to hold off Bob Johnson. Johnson going to look to the outside in turn number 1. Johnson, Ripley. Eddie McLean just ran out of time thanks to his son. Off of turn number 4, checkered flag, Blake Ripley. Your Australian Pursuit winner, Bob Johnson, finishes second. Eddie McLean finishes third. Tia Henry in fourth. Your winner of the Australian Pursuit in the the Ross Mountain Barbecue Mini Trucks, the 00 from Somerdale, Ohio, Blake Ripley. Back down to you, Medley Mowing. Okay, 10-lap Australian Pursuit for the trophy stocks. Starting on the pole, the 12 of Tristan Keller. The 68 of Corbin Robinson. The 6 is Nolan Caldwell. The 2 is A.J. Andrews. The 07 of Evan Worrell. The 17 is Noah Kaufman. The 42 of Damian Andrews. The 62 is Caden Scott. The 62S of Tyler Scott. And your fastest qualifier, the 37X of Jacob Keller. The 68 of Corbin Robinson trying to eliminate the 12 of Tristan Keller. Keller up the racetrack. He is eliminated. The 12 is eliminated. Corbin Robinson, your race leader. The 6 of Nolan Caldwell trying to track him down. The 62 of Tyler Scott also out. Nolan Caldwell all over the back of the 68 of Robinson. Here comes Caldwell to the outside of Robinson. Halfway home, 4 in, 4 to go for the Australian pursuit for the trophy stocks. Oh, Caldwell sideways. Doesn't allow A.J. Andrews to get to the bottom. Here comes the 17 of Kaufman to the inside of Worrell, trying to eliminate the 07 of Worrell. And the 07 is out. White flag gonna come out for Corbin Robinson. The youngsters up front. Robinson gets the white flag. Nolan Caldwell gonna look to the outside. Final time in the Australian pursuit. A.J. Andrews is there. Through. Oh, Andrews into Caldwell. And checkered flag. Corbin Robinson gonna hang on. Corbin Robinson, your winner. Nolan Caldwell, second. A.J. Andrews, third. Noah Kaufman, fourth. Damian Andrews, fifth. Your winner in the Robinson Garage Doors, Bosler's Honeybees, Dickerhoof Garage, and Wheel Alignment, sponsored 68. Corbin Robinson. Medley Mowing, back to you for more tickets. By the way, you guys are doing an outstanding job. I know I've been doing this for Bucky Mowing Compacts. The 000. The 00 of John Heidi. The 36 is Rich Dunlap. The 007 is DR3, Don Rufner the third. The 47 of Don Rufner Jr. The 57 is the Sizzler, Blaze Bacon. 79 is Phil Bunton Jr. The 64 is Jamie Leslie. The 52, Jeremy Salinger. The 4 of Blaine Salisbury. And the 53 of Curtis Finlayson. Blaze Bacon looking to the outside of Rufner Jr. Thought better of it. Oh, Blaze Bacon with the crossover. Got to the inside of Rufner Jr., but that's going to put him in a bad spot. Now the 79 of Bunton up the racetrack. He's got a flat tire. And caution on the speedway. Jeremy Salinger, Blaine Salisbury, and Curtis Finlayson. Green flag in the air. Blaine Salisbury eliminated by Curtis Finlayson. DR3 trying to get around Rich Dunlap and eliminate him as Curtis Finlayson to the outside of Salinger. Curtis Finlayson to the outside of Jeremy Salinger. Salinger into the 64 of Leslie. And Jeremy Salinger still trying to hang on. Don Rufner Jr. eliminated in the 47, and the 52 of Salinger eliminated. Here comes DR3 on the outside trying to eliminate Dunlap, and he does. Rich Dunlap is out. Here comes DR3 on the outside of John Heidi. 5 cars remain. Finlayson deep into turn number 3, trying to get around Jamie Leslie. White flag in the air. They're all going to race back to the checkers. Leslie into Bacon just a little bit, shoving him up the racetrack. Leslie going to move to the inside. And off turn number 4, your winner, John Heidi. DR3 finishes second, Jamie Leslie third, Blaze Bacon fourth, and Curtis Finlayson in fifth. Your final preliminary event wrapped up. Your winner from Strasburg, Ohio in the Haas's Marine, Bub's Concrete, and Feaster's Flooring sponsored number 00, your winner, Jonathan Heidi. Down to Medley Mowing, only a few more bikes to get.
Farms, they bought 90 tickets, so you're going to get a lot. So we're going to start raffling off the boys since there are no more boy bikes for these tickets.
Hall of Fame induction is going to take place here. So next week is Gillen Body Shop Hall of Fame and Old Timers Night. And we have our first Hall of Famer here tonight that's going to be inducted. He can't make it next week, so we're going to give him the honor tonight. So our first inductee into the 6th class of the Midvale Speedway Hall of Fame started racing in 1966. In 1967, he raced at Canton Motor Speedway and also at Wayne County Speedway. Won a couple features. In 1968, Gene Talati started racing on Sundays here at Midvale Speedway. This gentleman also raced at Canton and Barberton Speedways. He won a number of features, won a couple mid-season championships at Midvale, won the Firecracker 50. Also raced at Canton, Barberton, Cloverleaf, Lorraine, Sandusky, Heidelberg, and Sharon Speedways. Won season championship at Sharon. In 1976, he retired from racing. In 1977, to spend more time with his wife, Mary Ann, and daughters, Michelle and Bridget. In 2018, he was inducted into the Twin State Auto Racing Club Hall of Fame. He wants to thank John Chapman for inducting him into the Midvale Speedway Hall of Fame. So, without further ado, our first inductee to the 6th class of the Midvale Speedway Hall of Fame, number 93, Gary Midday. Gary Midday, first inductee into the 6th class of the Midvale Speedway Hall of Fame. We will post pictures of Gary from back in his racing. I'll also post his bio tomorrow morning on Midvale Speedway's Facebook page. He is our first inductee of several this year. So coming up again this week, we will continue to induct new Hall of Famers into that 6th Hall of Fame class. And then we will present them down here on the front straightaway next Saturday night. All brought to you by Gillen Body Shop. And I'll tell you what, like I said, make sure you stay tuned to our Facebook page. We'll put all of our Hall of Famers. We'll announce all of them this week. Present them down here on the front straightaway. Again, how about a big round of applause? Our first inductee to the 6th class, Gary Midday, number 93. at Midvale Speedway on week number 11. Brought to you by Medley Mowing and Kent State Tuscarawas starting on the pole. Already picked up the heat race win. Already picked up the Australian Pursuit win. Will Walker will start on the pole in the number 50. The number 57 of Braden Swaney on the outside. The 09 of Philip Cox will start third. The 38 of Kevin McClintock will start fourth. Row number 3, the number 24 of Nick Grubbs. The number 49 of Bob Page. The next row, the 02 of Rick Sibla. The 331 of Mike Stone. Your fastest qualifier, the 66 of Lewis McGrath. The 55 of the Rooster, Brandon Bailey. The number 4 is Jerry DeVore. The number 28 is Brandon France. The white number 0 is Mike Bowers. The number 28 is Glenn Jewell. The number 13 is Kenny Feaster Jr. The 17 is Andrew Smart. The 007 is DR3. The 15 is Kyle Finlayson. We're going to do a wave lap for our modified drivers. They're the showcase tonight. 25 cars strong. Turn number 3 on your feet. Turn 4 in the front straightaway. 25. Van Meter Auto Repair Modifieds on the Speedway. Wave what you got. Salute those cars and drivers. What a field of cars here at Midvale Speedway. Rounding out your field behind Kenny Feaster Jr. and Andrew Smart, the 007 of Don Ruffner III, the 15 of Kyle Finlayson, the 96 of Don Boron Sr., the 69 of Bob Snyder Jr., Austin Berger in the 3, Vanessa McCreary in the 71, the 99 is Derek Gruhl, and green flag we are Will Walker and Braden Swaney. Problems for Will Walker as he pulls to the infield. Braden Swaney, your race leader. Swaney and the 38 of McClintock. The 09 of Philip Cox, the 49 of Bob Page. Nick Grubbs trying to get to the inside of Bob Page for that 4th spot. Page up the racetrack just a little bit. Rick Sibla and the 331 of Mike Stone battling for the 6th spot. Not sure what happened to Will Walker. I don't know if it jumped out of gear on him. He had some issues earlier in the season with the car jumping out of gear. Looks like it just lurched into turn number 1 and he pulled to the infield. Tough break for Will Walker. Kevin McClintock to the outside of Braden Swaney for the race lead. 5 laps complete. McClintock and Swaney battle for the lead. Swaney holds McClintock off. McClintock back to the bottom behind Swaney. Caution on the speedway. Mike Stone around in turn number 4. Won features this year. McClintock, Cox, and Grubbs all feature winners this year. He will bring the field back to green flag racing. 6 laps complete. Green flag is back in the air. Kevin McClintock with a good run off of turn number 2. Swaney going to battle back into 3. Swaney and McClintock side by side. McClintock battling for that 3rd spot. The 24 of Grubbs, caution on the speedway. Vanessa McCreary spins off of turn number 4. laps complete. Braden Swaney, Kevin McClintock coming back to green. Green flag back in the air. Oh, McClintock with a good restart. The veteran in the outside lane will take the race lead. Caution in turn number 1. Caution on the speedway just as Kevin McClintock made the move to get the jump on the start. The caution comes out. Jerry DeVore involved. Looks like Mike Stone. Glenn Jewell, the old veteran. Mike will come and bring the field back to green flag racing. 7 laps complete. Laps complete. Field coming back to green. Chief starter Terry Coletti, green flag in hand. McClintock and Swaney, green flag in the air. Swaney and McClintock into turn number 3. 3 wide, getting squeezed, and now Philip Cox spins to the infield. Philip Cox to the infield. Caution on the speedway. Seven laps complete. Braden Swaney, Kevin McClintock in turn number 3. Green flag back in the air. McClintock and Swaney. Kevin McClintock will have the restart. He'll take the race lead on the outside. Swaney back to second. Here comes the 24 Grubbs. Nick Grubbs trying to get to the inside of the 57 of Braden Swaney as Kevin McClintock continues to pull away just a little bit. Mike Bowers to the inside of the 66 of McGrath. Actually, that's the 28 of France. Rick Sibla gets around the 57 of Swaney. Now the 55 of Brandon Bailey to the inside of Swaney. And caution. The 007 of DR3 spins to the infield. 11 laps complete. 11 in, nearing the halfway mark. DR3 spins off of turn number 4. Gonna have 11 in. Chief starter Terry Coletti. Green flag back in the air. McClintock, Grubbs, Swaney still in that outside lane. Caution on the back straightaway. Caution for Andrew Smart and Bob Snyder Jr. on the back straightaway. McClintock and Grubbs coming back to green. Green flag back in the air. McClintock and Grubbs. Nick Grubbs hanging to the outside of Kevin McClintock. Rick Sibla in the 0-2 trying to get to the inside. Swaney back and Go back to green, right at the halfway point. McClintock and Grubbs once again. So Austin Berger spins up in turn number 1, rookie driver in the number 3. Running. Getting ready to go green. McClintock and Grubbs. 12th time's the charm. Kevin McClintock out to the race lead. Will we actually get a lap complete? Here is Rick Sibla to the inside of Nick Grubbs. Halfway home, 13 in, and Derek Rule spins in turn number 4. Belts here. Kevin McClintock, Nick Grubbs, Rick Sibla, Braden Swaney. Green flag back in the air. Green flag in the air, McClintock and Grubbs. Good battle down the back straightaway into turn number 3. McClintock and Grubbs side by side. Nick Grubbs doing a good job in that outside lane, slips up just a little bit. He has the bottom. Rick Sibla tried to get there. Grubbs going to slip up just a little bit, but he's going to hang on to that second spot. 3 wide in the middle of the pack. And everybody sorts out miraculously. I don't know if miraculously is a word, but I think it just happened. It's the 55 of Brandon Bailey to the inside of Swaney for the 4th spot. Rick Sibla runs 3rd, Nick Grubbs 2nd, Kevin McClintock, your race leader. 17 complete this time around. Bob Page to the inside of Swaney now for the 5th spot. Move Bob Page up to 5th. Philip Cox, a nice run back up through the field. He's sitting in the 7th spot. Five laps to go for Kevin McClintock. Nick Grubbs in 2nd. 3rd is the 02 of Rick Sibla. 4th, the 55 of Brandon Bailey. And the 49. White flag for Kevin McClintock. Nick Grubbs. And off of turn number 4, Kevin McClintock back to Knack Tuning victory lane. Nick Grubbs finishes second, Rick Sibla third, Brandon Bailey fourth, and Bob Page in fifth. What? A second then. I stand corrected. In the Hans place, Federated Auto Parts, Van Meter Auto Repair, Alicia Manley and Blick Tool and Die, Consolidated Stitches Embroidery sponsored. Number 38, no stranger to Knack Tuning victory lane, Malta McClintock. Are you just going to, you can stay there, we can do the interview from here if you want. We can stay 6 foot apart. No, I don't, well, yeah, right. Times.
Yeah, I've been in some long ones here that were 50 lappers and 60 lappers and stuff, and wow, that's all I got to say.
Well, I can tell you the one time you got the lead on a good restart on Swaney, Nakasha came out and you said, oh man, I got to do it again. Then Swaney gets a good restart.
Yeah, and what can you say? He did exactly what he needed to do. I don't think we rubbed. And get her into turn 1.
Yeah, you did. Who you want to thank on this 38 tonight?
Well, first, you know, he's in a bad wreck earlier this year, and Kogar come out and Schweitzer busts his behind every night of the week on this thing, so it's mainly him and I, and, you know, my sponsors, my family's back there, you know all of them, you name them every week, but this one's kind of sweet, you know, when you run like that, you're like, okay, what's coming next, and just like, you know, Nick and I has raced against each other in the past, and, hey, that was fun, I ain't complaining.
Congratulations, buddy. Second win in 2021 on Christmas and July night.
About time.
Congratulations. Your winner, Kevin McClintock. I think it's trophy stocks, then street stocks. I don't know. It's been a long night. Jonathan Thompson. Chris Burdett on the outside, Tristan Keller, Nolan Caldwell in row 2, A.J. Andrews, Evan Worrell in row 3. Damian Andrews in the 42, Caden Scott in the 62, Tyler Scott in the 62S, your fastest qualifier, new track record holder Jacob Keller, and Storm Johnson out back. 15-lap feature, Thunder Kid on the flag stand, green flag in the air. Tessa waves the green flag. She's the Thunder Kid honoree tonight. The wave green flag. If you want to be a Midvale Speedway Thunder Kid, you can throw a green flag as well. Jonathan Thompson and Burdett side by side at the line. Dirt tracking it. Burdett will lead at the line by a nose. Thompson still there on the inside. Burdett down the back straightaway, going to hit this little infield section to complete lap number 2. Thompson trying to hang on, gets into some of the dirt. Now dirt all over the racetrack. Oh, Tyler Scott sideways and hit the Uke tire. Caution on the speedway. The 37 of Jacob Keller also involved in there. 62 of Tyler Scott hits the Uke tire in the infield. To go for the trophy. Ready to go back to green flag racing. Green's in the air. Burdett, your race leader. Chris Burdett, your race leader. Jonathan Thompson in second. Here comes the 6 of Caldwell to the outside of Tristan Keller for the 3rd spot. Chris Burdett, your leader. Here comes Caldwell. Finally gets underneath Thompson, 3 wide into the infield section. Damian Andrews on the bottom, gives room for Keller. Nice job by the youngster Andrews, giving some room right there. And he got repaid the favor by Keller. Keller gives him room down in turn number 1. Good racing by the youngsters. They're starting to learn how to run these cars. Burdett, your race leader. Caldwell 2nd, Andrews 3rd, Kaufman 4th, Keller in 5th and 6th. Caldwell right on the back of the 61 of Burdett. They'll get through the lap traffic of Storm Johnson down the back straightaway. Burdett, Caldwell, and now Andrews right there. And Kaufman joining the fray. 4-car battle, 12 laps complete. Burdett, Caldwell, Andrews, white flag in the air. 3-car battle to settle this one. Burdett looking for his first career feature victory. Andrews looking for one. Caldwell looking for one. Here they come through the infield section. Chris Burdett gonna win. Andrews finishes 2nd. Caldwell 3rd. Kaufman 4th. And Jacob Keller in 5th. Burdett. Come on over here, man. Thunder Kid giving you the trophy. Come on over here. Come talk to me. Man, now that had to have been fun.
Oh, it was really fun.
I'll tell you what, you got this thing up front, and did you know the pressure you had coming behind you? Because you had the 42, the 6. They were all right there, kind of all over you for a while.
Yeah, I could hear them. They were right there. Every time I looked sideways, they were there.
So what do you think about, you guys all had to dirt track it from all the dirt over here, right?
Oh, yeah. I'd like to race dirt sometime.
There you go. So who you want to thank on the 61 tonight?
Rob Scott, Tyler Scott, Caden Scott, Lexi Dibble, and my son, Brayson.
Congratulations, buddy. Welcome to NAC Tuning Victory Lane, the first of many.
Thank you.
Your winner, Chris Burdett. Ten is Katie Wood. The 8 is Pork Chop Brandon Thomas. The 54 is Chase Berkey. 74 is Bob Passwaters Jr. The 1 is Bryant Smith. The 19 is Scott Lindell. The 99 of Jason Gruhl. And the 38 of Ron Rug. Getting ready to go. Green flag racing. 20 laps. And they're green. Ian Porco will lead. Zach Koger up to second. Brandon Donnelly third. Kyle Grove fourth. Here comes the 67 of Rector. Rector to the inside of Kyle Grove as Zach Koger goes to the outside of Ian Porco. So Zach Koger, possibly some contact with the 64 of Ian Porco. The very weird looking moon over turn number 2. Probably why we've had so many issues tonight, but green flag back in the air, 2 laps complete. Oh, way up high. Dennis Wood and Kyler Bertram almost got into the fence off of turn number 4. Ian Porco, your race leader. Brandon Donnelly in that second spot. And the 67 of Kyle Rector and Kyle Grove still side by side arguing over that third spot. Here comes Passwater Sr. trying to get to the inside of the 3 of Grove. Getting through lap traffic, Ian Porco with a nice little couple car length cushion over Brandon Donnelly. Then the 67 of Rector as the 38 of Ron Rug pulls pit side. Still Ian Porco at the halfway mark. Your race leader, Brandon Donnelly, second. Kyle Rector, third. Bob Passwater Sr. in fourth. Dennis Wood up to fifth. Kyle Grove, sixth. Kylie Wood, seventh. Bryant Smith, eighth. Kyler Bertram, ninth. Katie Wood in 10th. Bob Passwater Sr. as Dennis Wood to the outside. Oh, way up the racetrack goes Wood. 5 laps to go. So Kyler Bertram, Scott Lindell all pull pit side. White flag in the air for Ian Porco. Brandon Donnelly. The 67 of Kyle Rector in third. The 75 of Passwaters. And in their checkered flag for Ian Porco. Brandon Donnelly second, then Rector, Passwaters, and Grove. Three or 4 weeks. Here's your winner, Ian Porco. All right, come on over here for the second time. Go this way so Craig doesn't yell at me. There we go. Yeah, 'cause he's got to see your smiling face. Okay, no, that's good. So, took you a while to get that first one. Now you've clicked off 2 here in the last, 3 or 4 weeks?
Yeah, that's the second one in 3 now?
Yeah, I'd say you're rolling things pretty good, and you're kind of sticking it to that Berkey kid too.
Yeah, me and Chase, we have a good time. We're good friends. It's so fun.
Who you want to thank on a 64, man?
I want to thank Clear Lights Headlight Restoration, Trenton Service, D&B Machine, my grandpa, Tobe, Luke, everybody who helps us on this thing. And I want to say hi to my grandma. She's at home. She couldn't be here. She didn't feel good. So, hi, Grandma.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Once you got this, that whole passing thing.
Yeah, that's tough.
Congratulations, buddy. Hey, if you start up front, who cares, right?
Yeah.
You take them how you can get them. Your winner, Ian Porco. Jonathan Heidi. The 36 of Rich Dunlap. The 007 of DR3. The Sizzler in the 57. Jamie Leslie, Jeremy Salinger, Blaine Salisbury, Drew Romig, Curtis Finlayson, Phil Bunton Jr., Mike Stuber, Alan Clark, Zach Marshall, Braden Maurer, and Ronald Bunton, and we're green. 3 wide into turn number 1. The Sizzler thought better of it. Goes back to the bottom. Rufner Jr. spun way up high. Here comes Salinger. John Heidi, your race leader. Rich Dunlap in the 36. DR3 in the 007 and the 57 of Blaze Bacon. 1 lap complete, 14 to go. John Heidi by a nose at the line, but Rich Dunlap is there. Dunlap in the 36, the 57 of Blaze Bacon, the 52 of Jeremy Salinger, your front four, and 3 wide into turn number 4. Rufner, and Salisbury. And now Leslie in the 007. Three wide, Leslie moves up with Rufner Jr. Rufner the third back as Curtis Finlayson gets through, and they're 3 wide once again. Continuing to battle up front though, John Heidi and Rich Dunlap still side by side for the race lead. Still great racing up front with John Heidi and Rich Dunlap. And now here comes Jeremy Salinger into the fray. 4 cars, 2 by 2 for the race lead with 5 to go. Salisbury to the inside of the Sizzler. Bacon gonna hang on. And here comes Jeremy Salinger. Is Dunlap kind of slipping back just a little bit. John Heidi doing a darn good job up front in the 00. White flag in the air. John Heidi looking for his first career feature win. Jeremy Salinger all over the back. Will Heidi be able to hang on and lead wire to wire? Final time into turn number 3. Heidi protects the bottom. Here comes Salisbury on the outside. Not going to have enough. John Heidi, a feature winner at Midvale Speedway. Jeremy Salinger second, Blaine Salisbury in third. Rich Dunlap fourth, Jamie Leslie in fifth. Sponsored 00. He's about to get a bath when he gets out of this thing. I'm standing back, getting ready to climb out. Here's your winner, John Heidi.
Now we got to disqualify for smelling like alcohol.
Yeah, now how can we tell that you didn't drink that before the race? It's impossible now. And then you getting charged $50 for getting water on the racetrack too. Now come on over here, man. Congratulations. Finally, right?
Yeah, about time.
It is about time. And I'll tell you what, You did not put a wheel wrong all night, and you couldn't with one of the best in the business in one of these cars, and Rich Dunlap making his return. He's starting to get his feet under him again.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
You guys didn't touch not one time.
Yeah, it was a good race.
Who you want to thank on this 00 tonight, man?
Feaster's Flooring, Haas's Marine, got Bub's Concrete, John Boy Tire, all my friends that, help a lot in the car. My wife, she helps. So.
But time to go drink beer, right?
I don't drink.
Well, that even makes it worse that you smell like beer.
I know.
Well, go find something. Go grab a Pepsi or a Mountain Dew then.
Yeah.
Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you.
Your winner, John Heidi. Alongside Brendan Neely, Timmy Long in the third spot with Marcus Cox alongside Brenton Irwin, Tabby Stuber, Gavin Roop, Trevor King, Candy Button, Eric Brokaw, rounding out your field. Getting ready to go green off of turn number 4. 15 lap feature number 2 for the compacts, and we're green. Three wide, Tabby Stuber on the outside. Oh, and she lost it. Tabby Stuber spins in turn 3. So getting ready to go back to green, Jonathan Weber, 1 lap complete. Your race leader, Brendan Neely, in second. They'll come off of turn number 4, green flag in the air. Oh, the 80 of Bunton didn't get going, stacked up the field. Brenton Irwin had issues as well. Getting ready to go green, Jonathan Weber and Marcus Cox. How about Candy Bunton on the high side? Candy Bunton trying to get around Marcus Cox. A little bit of contact between the 80 and the 7 right there. Candy Bunton around the high side, going to pass Jonathan Weber down the back straightaway. Candy Bunton to the race lead. Weber back to second, trying to hold off Marcus Cox. Caution on the speedway. Speeding ticket for Candy Bunton. Candy Bunton 2 laps under. Her qualifying time will be sent to the tail of the field. Jonathan Weber back to the front. Long in third. And Gavin Roop in fourth. Into turn number 3, Jonathan Weber on the bottom. He's going to lead 5 laps complete, 10 to go. Marcus Cox on the outside. Three wide, Tabby Stuber into Timmy Long. And caution on the speedway. Marcus Cox, Gavin Roop, Eric Brokaw. Green flag in the air. Weber down mowing some grass in the infield. Here comes the 9 of Gavin Roop to the outside. Marcus Cox, your race leader. Halfway home, Marcus Cox, your race leader by a nose, but here comes Gavin Roop. Gavin to the outside. Gavin Roop to the front, 5 laps to go. Gavin Roop, your race leader. White flag in the air for Gavin Roop. Twin checkers for Gavin Roop. Marcus Cox finishes second. Jonathan Weber third. Eric Brokaw fourth. And Trevor King fifth. Roop. Well, first of all, you need to wash this thing. It's a little dirty.
That's good.
No, it's dirty. Look at it. This thing's got mud all up the side of it.
Dirt tracking too.
Hey, so answer me this. Come here. What are you walking away from me for? Huh? Congratulations. It's been a little while since you've been back down in here to Victory Lane. Man, that was a good run. You passed the leader on the outside.
Yeah, we had some problems before in the heat race and stuff, but we got it figured out, and the car's a rocket now.
Yeah, it is. Really good. And this is what, about your third car you've went through this year?
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, this thing's going good now.
Yeah.
Now you get it a little bit quicker. You can get it up into that fast feature and go get one of those.
I'll be there next week.
All right, congratulations. Who do you want to thank?
I got to thank that dude right there, my dad. If it wasn't for him, this car wouldn't be here.
Well, good job, buddy. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Your winner, Gavin Roop. By Medley Mowing, Kent State Tuscarawas. Next Saturday night, Hall of Fame night, brought to you by Gillen Body Shop. Getting ready to go green, 12 laps, Takis and Connor McLean, greens in the air. There goes Connor McLean, and there goes Blake Ripley to the outside of Takis. Takis down the back straightaway. And Blake Ripley's going to blow by that 31 machine. Blake Ripley hooked up in the outside lane. He'll go to the front. Eddie McLean all over the back of that 000 of Blake Ripley. Ripley through 3 and 4, coming up on lap traffic. 3 laps to go. Can Ripley complete the clean sweep? He won the dash. He won the pursuit. Now looking to win the feature. White flag for Blake Ripley. Can Eddie McLean get around the 000? Final time down the back straightaway. Here comes Eddie McLean to the outside of Ripley. Ripley gets in deep off turn number 4. And Eddie McLean at the line. What a finish. Eddie McLean gets around Blake Ripley, preventing him from hitting the clean sweep. Eddie McLean wins again. Blake Ripley, Bob Johnson, Chris Takis, and Tia Henry, your top 5. Into victory lane after a spectacular finish. In the John Doe Band, Joe Mack Truck Bodies and Crane, Herman, Beth A. Beth and Big A Dalton. Napa Auto Parts and Scott Spears sponsored number 443. Here's your winner, Eddie McLean. I don't know if this thing's going out on me or not. Huh? No, Doug didn't have it. Chad Medley did. Come on over here, buddy. I don't know where Connor went, but tell me about that finish. My goodness, you had to work for that one, dude.
How about Blake Ripley, man? What a driver. That kid's coming on. I broke his heart a couple weeks ago and passed him out here, and we've been talking on the phone ever since. I've been coaching him a little bit, and man, he drove the wheels off that thing tonight.
I didn't think you were going to have enough room. You know why? I just figured it out, why Connor didn't come, because he totally screwed you out of that pursuit race, so that's why he went over pit side. He probably felt bad.
Running those pursuit races without a mirror is scary business. But yeah, Blake done a really good job. He had one little bobble there on the last lap, and I felt so bad for him, but it's not. I don't feel bad enough for him. I'm not going to take it, but yeah, I feel really bad for him. But he's got nothing to be ashamed of. He's there. He's there. He's going to win races from now on. He won 2 tonight. He come close to having a sweep. He'll get it.
Yeah, a really, really good run. What a good finish. Like you said, just that little bobble down there allowed you to get the run on the outside. You beat him, drag raced him back to the line. Man, that was a good finish. That was a fun race.
I don't know how I drag raced him with this slug, dragging that extra 100 pounds around me, and I can feel that. Oh, I'm not liking it.
Who do you want to thank on this 443 tonight?
Let's start with the Joneses. Jones Tax Solution, Joe Mack Truck Bodies and Cranes, Keith and Robin Brady, of course, People's Racing, and Napa Auto Parts and the John Doe Band. And, of course,
Buddy.
thanks, man. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Your winner, Eddie McLean. Or as I like to call him, McLean. All right, that wraps up week number 11. Again, thank you to BP Photography. Make sure you check her out on Facebook. Always listen to 99.9 WTUZ Radio.